This is the Golden Marriage Show with Salano Inzai and Burial.
Hello guys, I hope you are doing fine and you are blessed from wherever you're watching us from. This is the Sabo family and you're watching the Golden Marriage Show.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the Golden Marriage Show. And today we are in Eldoret City of Champions.
Yeah.
And we are here to learn from the older couples who have gone ahead of us and they have experienced. Is it just soft life or the challenges? If they're there, how do they overcome them? So today we are with the Simius on the show. And I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Thank you so much. We are excited to be part of your Golden Marriage Show. These are the Simius.
Yes.
My wife is Sophie and I'm Patrick. My wife and I have been in marriage for 14 years now. On the 8th of August this year, we actually are going to be doing our 14 years in marriage. Yes.
August this year.
We are in...
We almost done with the year. Yes.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, we are in October already.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So probably
It's a main
I'm wondering, maybe it wasn't powerful enough for me to remember that we've already had an anniversary. We need to do another one then.
You should
We need a repeat of our anniversary for the year 2022.
And 23.
By God's grace, we have many moments of celebration because sometimes we feel like it's necessary just to punish the devil. For the many troubles he had to probably get us go through. But again, it's not just the devil all the time. Not all the time that people go through stuff is the devil. Sometimes God would allow you to go through something so that you get to learn a couple of lessons that will actually make you more stronger. We actually met in the mission field. Back in the college days. I was like the college preacher, and she used to be in the worship team, and I will take different teams out for missionary activities, and she's blessed with very powerful vocals, so I started bring her close to my missionary team. So every time we are going out, I'm thinking I will need her to be part of us so that she helps us out specifically in praise and worship. And by and by I realized this good singing should end up somewhere in my house. I would want to enjoy this music from a more closer fellowship.
And even dance to the music.
Yes, so tukakuwa na mishoni ndani ya mission. It was a mission in the mission, and it was very interesting when I started developing some chemistry for her. When I started getting attracted to her, I would ask the rest of the missioners to pay their transport. Then I'll tell her, yours is well catered for. I'm taking care of your transport expenses. And it went on, and God gave me grace. It wasn't very easy being the preacher that I was, and it wasn't very easy just to say, I love you and all that. So a couple of times we met in the hotel, and I will talk about Abraham and Moses. I'll talk about the goodness of the Lord, and I'll talk about, evangelism and how we need to be winning souls. How many souls have you brought to the Lord? And I think women are extremely sensitive. She seemed to have known where all this is headed to. And she would be asking, like, before I go, is there anything else? So she made it easier for me, and I just went straight. Sophie, I think I'll not waste your time. The thing is this: I love you, and I want you for a wife. It wasn't. She gave me a very big no, but after a couple of weeks, she said, "I'm going to pray." I doubt if you did pray.
Oh.
Tell us.
Did you pray already?
Did I pray?
Yeah.
Okay, those were like the late times of our college.
Yeah.
And so I would say I wasn't so much into a relationship then. So that's why I told him, let me pray. So I believe I prayed. We really officially started our relationship outside the college we were done now. And then it just was basically a relationship. And then now seeing how it unfolds and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Wow. That's
And
really
as they say, the rest is history.
it's history. Now we are here, 14 years.
Yeah. And we thank God for you guys.
You see, when we see you, you are like a perfect couple.
Okay.
You have no issues. Your marriage is always just fun.
Okay.
Peak honeymoon. So it's like you don't have any issues. But you've talked about punishing the devil of what you've gone through.
Yeah,
So maybe,
interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Do you mean there are some seasons you've been going through that are somehow very hard on your marriage that you could wish to share?
Wow. Oh dear. As my wife had already indicated, we've had many ups and downs. In the year 2012, I was initially working with a food processing company. Then in the year 2012, we suddenly, all of us, lose our jobs through a process called redundancy. And none of us was ready for it. None of us saw it coming. I'm talking about the employees of that specific food processing company. And this is the time when my wife was heavily pregnant. Now guess what? A couple of weeks before that, I'd asked her to resign because I felt like she wasn't being appreciated for her input where she was working. And I felt like, Kwani, how much is it that you are being paid? I'm going to pay you the money, you know. Little did I know that 2 weeks after that, and she actually resigned. 2 weeks after that, my job is normal. And
It's a challenge. That must
you can imagine now we are finally at a place where both of us are jobless.
I want you to tell us, how did you break the news to her when the day you've lost the job, now you're coming?
Oh my, I'm telling you, it was terrible. It was terrible because you see, one, I think her DOD, what is DOD?
Date of delivery.
Yes.
Date of delivery.
Yes. Was like 2 weeks away. And I had to be very careful of how
To deliver the news.
Yes, how to pass such kind of negative information because of the situation we're in as a couple. Of course, I managed to do it. I came home and I was like, life has full of challenges. And
As a minister on a package.
Yes, there's a way I psychologically prepared her, and she was like, "What is it? Kwani job imeisha?" And I'm like, "That's it. That's it." It wasn't. It was very unpleasant. A very terrible experience for us. And guess what? We didn't. Our medical cover was provided by my employer. So we didn't have any other medical scheme apart from... Now, here's a situation where she has no medical cover. What we're depending on as a medical scheme doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because I've lost my job. We had not been keeping this specific amount of money for the delivery, because we knew. I mean, we already have a medical cover.
Why should you save?
Why should I save? Then it happens that we are having complications around the delivery process.
How did you receive that news of?
I think I think God helped me.
You're strong enough.
Of course, you want to look like you're strong, but again, you're thinking, okay, how are we going to move around this? But because I had, by God's grace, had a perfect pregnancy, I didn't have complications during my
Yeah,
pregnancy.
right from inception. Everything
couldn't-
was smooth.
Yes, I couldn't tell of any complications. Like we didn't foresee any
Yeah.
complications. So you were like, a day or two will be done in the hospital and
Yeah.
back home. With our bundle of joy. So when we get to so when he broke the news, we just prayed and trusted God. We said, Lord,
God
now
will see us through.
see us through and take over. And now here I am in the labor room, and then I'm told you have to go for surgery because this is an emergency. Usually it's referred to as placenta previa. So your placenta is the one, inatangulia, the passageway. So quickly I'm told, the doctor says you have to go to the
Surgery.
labor, and that's how I ended up on surgery. So we get our child, a boy, a very handsome boy, Ryan Vianzi Simi. So he gets here and he is well and fine. And then now because I am trying to recover and all that, they decide let's put him in the nursery. So those were like for 3 days. So while there, they were trying to feed him with a tube. So they realized
Droolings.
droolings, there was lots of saliva all around it, so they tried to wipe and now also when they're trying to feed some milk in a ruby, it bounces back. So they definitely said something is wrong with this child. We need to investigate further. So they decided day 3 they took an X-ray, and then they realized that his esophagus, basically in layman's language, had a dead end, meaning nothing could pass to the stomach.
To the stomach, yeah.
It gets there, even saliva. That's why the saliva all over.
That's
his
why
place.
there was a lot of drooling.
Yes.
There was actually a blind pouch in his esophagus. Then there was an abnormal opening in his respiratory system, in the trachea. Now, this abnormal opening meant if he would have been fed on any food substance, including breastfeeding, the milk would, whatever that was, it wouldn't have gone to the stomach, but would have gone straight into the lungs. And that would have meant instant death or something like that. Yeah.
So it was basically an emergency. So they
There's a medical terminology they used to refer to that condition. It's called TOF.
yes, TOF.
Tracheoesophageal fistula.
Yes.
That name, that terminology has 26 letters. I was hearing it for the first time on earth.
That is what happened to Ryan. So here we are. This is day 3. You're told now we have to take your child to surgery. So that would mean more days in hospital.
Day 3.
Yeah, day 3.
And he was born underage.
He was born underage.
Before time?
Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 kgs. So you're wondering even, hakuna nyama ya kushika. It is just, yes.
I can imagine
So,
being a mom.
yes.
Kama tu
yes.
mtoto ndio hapo tu perfect.
Yes.
Mzaliwa ako
Yeah.
normal,
Yes.
akikohoa hivi unakuwa na hiyo stress. So I can
Yes.
imagine you.
Yes. So it was really a
Already you
stressful.
had surgery.
Yes, I had surgery. I had, so you're thinking, okay, and then now they're telling you we have no option, and you have to decide real quick. So when my husband comes, when he came to visit me, I had to share with that. I was so emotional, crying all over the place. I was like, now I don't know what's going to happen, because now nothing prepared us for that. So we quickly sign in, and then he gets to surgery.
One, you've had a very smooth pregnancy.
Yes.
Right
Yeah.
from conception, we've not had any issues. There was no suspicions whatsoever of any, complication or something. Of course, we'll go for, are they called prenatal clinics? And there was no sign of danger until this last minute, and we are now being told, Kwanza, the placenta is coming before the baby.
Placenta previa. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that is the right medical terminology to describe the situation. Then we are here now. This is your firstborn,
Firstborn.
and before that, as ministers, we had been praying for other couples. I remember just a week or 2 before, some friends of ours had called us in the middle of the night and they were like, labor pains zimeanza, and we drove all the way to go and pick them in the middle of the night, bring them to the hospital. We would lay hands on mama's tummy and prophesy greatness, and after an hour or two there comes a baby, 4 kgs bouncing baby boy, and you're wondering, you've stood with people, you've prayed with couples, you've seen them testify of the goodness of the Lord. When your time comes, you're expecting
Better than that.
better things
Smoother.
as a way of the Lord rewarding you
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
service in his vineyard. Then things turn blue. You really want to develop bitterness even against God, because you're wondering, God, is this a reward? Are you giving me a bitter reward for service? Do I really deserve to go through this after we have faithfully served you in your vineyard, after we've stood with people in the same conditions probably, and they gave positive feedback of what God has done? So when your time comes, you expect bigger results, greater things to happen, only to be told TOF, only to be told I think maybe we need also to say Ryan was diagnosed with a hole in the heart. Yes, he has a hole in the heart, he has TOF, and you are being told this is an emergency, anything could happen now, this is an emergency, and you are being told we even don't know if there is the specific medical experts that were expected to handle that condition. It's almost like we don't have them now, but we'll see what to do. But to cut the long story
So
short,
discouraged. That is a
it was a very
situation.
desperate moment. Now, when all that is happening, remember you have no money. So jobs have gone.
I am interested to know, how did you guys get the
How
decision?
did-
We have no medical cover, we have no job, we have nothing.
How did you go about it?
And maybe it's important to mention that even the little that I had in my bank account, because I had taken loan before that from the bank, when the banks got to know that
retrenched.
this specific company has shut down, guess what they did? They took our monies in the account.
Hey,
That was a time we really engaged our faith because of our faith in the Lord. We really prayed and really trusted God. And I think also the fact that that you pray even when you're at your lowest or highest, there's just a way God comes through for you. So at this particular point in time, we get friends who bring foodstuffs. When I'm in hospital, I stayed in hospital for close to 2 months.
Yeah.
Because 2 months, because then now after the surgery, you have to be given the patient usually is given like 2 weeks for recovery. Then you review if the surgery went well, and after reviewing, now you just give time for your body to heal up. And because now this child is tiny, so you go kwa incubator. So that's how come I had been discharged, but now I have to be in the hospital because of my child. And I had to really do a caregiving service to this child. So after every 3 hours, I'd be at the nursery after every 3 hours, and remember I have a wound, so get there, change him, express my milk, feed him. So it means wipe him, yes, everything, caregiving, everything. If he needs to be wiped, if he needs some love, you hug him and all that. So that was not easy, because you can imagine every 3 hours, that means day and night. So Nikki oversleep kidogo.
Maybe it's good to mention that where she was,
Yes.
is it called the postpartum
Yes.
room? There was no lift.
Yes.
So she has to be doing the stairs, going up and
Yes.
coming down after every 3 hours.
Yes,
And
before
guess what?
Pike unarudi, and then you have to be very
She has
okay.
to physically squeeze milk out of her breast, put the milk into some tubes
feed the baby.
to feed the baby,
Yes.
whose tiny body has tubes all over, trying to heal.
For every 3 hours. I remember there's a time, na hakuna bell. hakuna bell.
So you have
hakuna
to time
mtu-
yourself.
No
No one
one
is
is
reminding
reminding you. By the way, when you get there, yes. Kuna time nilichelewa for like I went there an hour later. I was so guilty because now everyone has left. Your kid is crying because now ukichelewa hata watakuwa na njaa. No one will feed him.
Yeah.
Kama he needs cleaning up, maybe amepupu. It's up to you, you know. So you can imagine umechelewa, the guilt that would fester. So it was like a routine that your mind has to adapt to, and then you have to be in perfect mental state.
And remember, the
Because-
feeding, it's not the normal feeding through the mouth.
Yes.
This baby has an impaired digestive system.
So
There's a pipe that has been fixed through the chest.
inawekwa hapo kwa nose and then it goes through to right inside the esophagus and all that, so it inaenda kwa stomach directly. So that's why now you feed it with that cut tube and then now you lock it up. Now that is work. So you have to be in a perfect state of mind. I remember there's a time where my milk really refused because now you're almost like stressed out.
Yeah.
Yes, it's psychological. You're like,
Yeah.
how are things going to happen?
Yeah.
And so that was me in the hospital for like 1.5 months. I remember the last week before tutoke hapo, I was like, I think I was just fed up. I was like, oh my God, if I don't come out of this place, I'm going to break down. I just told the doctor, I need to get out of this place because it was really, it's work in itself. And then now you don't get the joy of now just, having your child by your bedside, just talking to them,
The joy of motherhood.
Yes. Because the rest of the kids pale kwa the ward, they were there. And you'd see them with their child, you'd really you're like, why not, me having my child there? But I thank the Lord for the grace.
Now, I'm actually still interested in your story, Sophie, because many of the mothers out there are going through the same things you went through. And here, you even seeing your baby with the pipes going through them is not easy. Psychologically, it's disturbing.
Very.
But you had to remain strong. What kept you sane